Hey guys, it's Kayla with Kayla's Cricut Creations, and I cannot wait for this video because I got my hands on Teckwrap Craft's 82 feet adhesive vinyl. This thing is pretty heavy. I measured it and it's 24 inches for the width. The color of this vinyl is ink black. It obviously looks like it's gray, but that's because it has a protective film over it. So once I remove that, it will be the black color. Teckwrap Craft actually has several different colors on their website in this size, which is so exciting. I'll make sure to put a link down in my description box. Also, when I got my Venture machine, I struggled to find wide and long format vinyl besides Cricut brand, and Cricut brand is not my favorite. I'll use it, it's okay, but I prefer other brands of vinyl. Teckwrap did send this vinyl to me to test out, so I can't wait to do that in this video, and I will be using the Cricut Venture to test it out. Here's the sign that I'm going to be putting this on. I found this at Hobby Lobby. It is 24 inches by 24 inches, which includes the outer frame. I can't wait to add vinyl to this. I have been redoing my craft room after I got the dream box, so I'm hoping to put it on this wall behind me here. Hobby Lobby signs do have a film on their boards, and it makes it difficult for adhesive vinyl to stick to it sometimes. So what I'm going to do first is add Mod Podge to it, and that just helps the vinyl just adhere and stick way better. I actually prefer to use polyacrylic, but I am out right now and I didn't have time to go to the store, so I am just going to use Mod Podge instead. Okay, let's get into the tutorial. I prefer to use foam brushes when I'm painting on Mod Podge. Whenever I use regular brushes, I feel like I always see those brush strokes in it. I have heard that you can use soft bristle brushes, but the foam brushes just work so well for me. The problem with this one is it's really small and this is a very big board, so I needed one of those wider ones. I'm going to let that dry and let's go over to Cricut Design Space. Here's the SVG bundle that I'm using for my design, and this bundle has so many pretty designs in here. I will make sure to link it down in my description box. I'm going to upload this into Cricut Design Space. Next, what I'm going to do is grab a shape. I grabbed a square and I am going to make it the size of my board. I'm not including the frame though, so the inside of the frame is 22.75 inches. I'm going to change this to a guide and right click and send this to the back. Now what I'm going to do is just make this fit inside of this square. This design would probably work better in a rectangle frame, but I'm still going to give it a try. I just love the design so much that I didn't want to look for another one. Also, I don't know if any of you are like me, it takes me forever to find designs, so I finally found one that I loved and I didn't want to spend forever looking for another one. I like to center this just to make sure everything looks good. Okay, I think that looks perfect for the sizing. It looks like the design is around 21.8 inches for the width and 12.4 for the height. If you're using a different machine, let's say the Cricut Maker 3, which is what I usually use, I believe it's 11.5 inches for the width on a mat is the widest you can cut. There are ways around that. If you want to create the same project on a big sign, you would just have to separate some of the pieces on here. But what's nice about the Venture is I can cut all of this out in one go. For the Venture, I can choose without a mat, but I do need to use Cricut Smart Materials, so I'm obviously not using that, so I'll click on a mat and confirm. For the Venture, it actually shows up on the bottom left corner. I'll hit continue. For my cut setting, I'll choose Premium Vinyl Permanent Glossy. This is a matte vinyl, however, but this setting works really well for me. I also love that the Venture shows you exactly what steps to do when cutting it out. I don't use my Venture too often, so it's nice to have step-by-step reminders. Since this is a huge roll of vinyl and it has a protective film over it, I am going to cut it down to the size of my design. So it's already 24 inches wide, and that's about how wide I need it to be, but I need it to be about 13 inches long. Then I remove the protective sheet from the vinyl. After that, I grab my Cricut Venture mat and remove the cover from that. I place my vinyl in the bottom left corner and make it kind of line up with that Cricut screen. I lift my lever, then I move the pinch roller over to position 2. After that, I raise the left and right guides. I press the mat support button and it opens up. You do get some extra mat support with the Venture. I just didn't use it in this video. I load my mat in until it rests on these little grooves, then press the lever down. I press the load button and the Cricut will measure the mat to make sure everything is good with it. Then I press the start button and the Cricut Venture will start cutting. I'm always so amazed when I see the Cricut Venture cutting. It's just so fun to watch it. It's very different than the other Cricut machines, but it's still very user-friendly, so I love that. Once it's done, I lift the lever and pull the mat out of the machine. Then I'm ready to start weeding. Since this is a larger design, it was very easy to weed. The cut setting I used also worked very well for the vinyl. If you are trying to decide on what Cricut machines to use, if you want the Venture, I have a really detailed video on all the different cutting machines. I can link it down in the description box. Also, if you have the Cricut Venture or any of the large format cutting machines, let us know what you like to make with it and what you think of those machines. I was using my Cricut weeding tool and it was going a little bit slow. Then I grabbed my pen tool, and I recommend this on all of my videos. It's just so much faster and it works great with adhesive vinyl. Once I'm done, I remove it from my mat. My mat has black tape on it because I think the second time I used it, I just bent it too much and I cracked it. Now I'm finally ready to add this to the sign. What I'm going to do first is add transfer tape to my vinyl. To make this easier, I just placed it directly over the design, then used scissors to cut it down. Then what I did is removed a little piece of the backing. This just makes it a lot easier to place it on evenly. Then I just went ahead and set it on the left side and removed the backing. There was a little piece on the bottom that didn't have any transfer tape on it, so I just cut out a piece and placed it directly over that. I just made sure it overlapped with the other transfer tape. I'm going to be using the hinge method to apply the vinyl to the board. When using the hinge method, you take the transfer tape directly off the vinyl. Typically what I like to do is turn the vinyl backwards and remove the backing like I'm doing here. So basically the reason why I'm taking the backing off right now is just to make sure all of the vinyl is sticking down onto the transfer tape. There was a piece that wasn't sticking down, so I scraped it and continued to take the backing off. But then after that, I placed the backing directly back down. I switched it to the other side to make sure everything was sticking down there as well. Like I said, I placed the backing completely back down. Now I know my vinyl is going to remove easily. Now I'm ready to center my design. I'm doing 1/2 inch on each side. This 24-inch acrylic ruler is so awesome for projects like these. Once I had 1/2 inch on each side, then I measured the top and bottom. I wanted about 5 inches on each side for that. Now that it's all lined up, I take some painter's tape and I place that directly down the center of my vinyl. Now I'm ready to remove one side of that tape. I just pick up the transfer tape with the vinyl attached and I cut off the backing. The hinge method is seriously such a game changer with signs. Mine would always be crooked and it was so stressful, but with this, everything is lined up. I follow the exact same process for the other side. I lift the transfer tape up, then I just remove that backing and I press the transfer tape and vinyl down. I do have a video totally dedicated to the hinge method, so I'll link it down in the description box if you want something a little bit more detailed. After that, I'm ready to remove the transfer tape. Here's how this turned out. I think it is so beautiful. I love Psalm 23 and I can't wait to put this up in my craft room. I'll try to put a picture on the community page when I have my craft room done, but it will probably be the end of August. I also love when I went to film this, the lighting had little circles on it and it matched the circles on the design. I just thought that was so cute. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed if you are new to my channel.